Yeah. Oh, okay. Get to
Yeah,
that.
we're live. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is our normal here, our clock back in the background, our 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
Mhm.
podcast uh, every Thursday. We appreciate you being here. It's just Deshaun and myself today. And Deshaun has shaved his beard off, too. I just noticed that a while ago. He got on it.
Yeah.
Looks good. Uh, so it'd just be us. We have to cut this a little short because we've been doing the editorial come out this week, and the next Thursday we address the editorial. Well, like the editorial came out last week, and we were going to address it today, but unfortunately, we're missing two people. Both of them hurricane victims, not really victims, but they had to evacuate. Tim had a brand new home beach house over on the East Coast, and was ordered to evacuate yesterday. He's from Atlanta, so he headed back to Atlanta yesterday, and then he called me this morning and wasn't able to be on our session, our micro moment session this morning, because the hurricane caught up with him in Atlanta and he had 80-mile-an-hour winds and no power. So he wasn't able. And then Tony, who's over in that same general direction, he always attends that first session, does QQQ, and Tim does Microsoft. And Tony had the same problem. The hurricane caught up with him and he had no power either. So they're not going to be here today. And so we'll just kind of do a little revised podcast today, and then we'll pick everything back up next weekend. We do have Deshaun, and Deshaun supported. He's also on the micro moment trading sessions every day at 8:30 to 9:30 Central, and he had some good trades this morning. He had a 7.45% on SPY. He trades SPY. Tony trades QQ, and Tim trades Microsoft. And they picked up another little bit less than 1%, so a total of 7.45%, which is fantastic. The return so far, the return so far on the micro moment as of when Deshaun and I left it earlier today, is 58.794228%, and huge. And then won't do them the rest of the day, but it's a huge return for the week through today. So maybe we'll pick up another 30 or 40%. Sometimes we pick up 30 or 40% and get close to 100. We were over 100 last week. And if you want to attend those sessions, we have a special going right now where you can go, if you sign up on our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and sign up for the free sessions. It's 2 weeks of those sessions you can attend. You'll be right there with all our other folks, and you can ask questions and do the trades and just really, really learn a whole lot by learning how to read our advanced charting, proprietary charting. It tells you exactly when to get in and out of those sessions. So just go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and sign up. It's totally free, and be good. Be good. The market right now, as we speak today, is the Dow's up 93.89, the S&P's up 26.54, Nasdaq's up 110, 119 actually. We don't care. It doesn't make any difference when we're doing those kind of trades. We can deal markets down, markets it doesn't, because the market's down hundreds of points so far this week, and we're up return of 51.33 plus percent so far today. So one more time, go to www.micromomenttrading.com, sign up for the free 2-week sessions, and they're Monday through Friday when the market's open and last an hour. And just Sean, who's on here at the moment, and the other two gentlemen, Tim and Tony, actually do the trades and then say we're getting ready to. Tony will say, I'm getting ready to do a prep on QQQ. He tells you the strike price he's going to use. He tells you when he enters the deal. And you're seeing this on the chart. You're learning this, okay, on the chart. You're seeing it as he speaks. And then he'll say, I'm exiting the position, and usually that's within 15 to 20 or 30 seconds. And that's trade you're all through. You're through for the day. You don't have any money overnight or nothing. And just absolutely incredible returns. We're doing that this week. Tomorrow's the end of the 78th week, and we've averaged 92.86% each week of those 78 weeks. We've been doing it for about three and a half years, but most of it was in-house. Mm-hmm. And so anyhow, you can, if you want to type in any questions or comments, we got you over here. And since it's just the two of us, we'll have ability to address anything that you want to talk about. Again, we're not going to discuss the what we were going to discuss, which is the monthly dividend paying stocks, and how something else is coming to. There's been a lot of recent press. A lot of people that are used to those high dividend stocks. The dividends don't change when the market goes up and down. The stocks go up and down, but the dividend doesn't change. It's still the same as what you based when you originally purchased the stock. But a lot of people, sort of this old day trading virus hits them, and they get concerned about their stocks going up and down. And you shouldn't be. It's the same stock you bought. Most of them have been paying dividends for 75, 100 years, some instances, and they typically increase those dividends each year. You're still going to get that, but it's that thought that you can lose money on your stock. Well, you've got the stock, you've been sitting there forever with just collecting dividends. There's no reason to go out and, if it goes down, sell it for a loss, because it doesn't connect, to have anything to do with the money that you collect. And so we'll be showing how you can avoid that virus, day trade virus, I call it, and using one of our standard techniques, and actually increase your dividend return, increase the value of your position, taking advantage of the fact that it's going up and down. And it's a regular dividend paying stock, either monthly or quarterly. So, okay, so let's get some questions. John,
who are you, Trump? the day trading virus.
Yeah, I just created that. Just created that.
That's good. No, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Why don't you tell them what you're doing with SPY and what how that technique works?
Well, so, I mean,
yeah, exactly. What are you doing on that morning seminar with SPY?
So in the morning seminar, what I do is so SPY is the S&P 500. So first and foremost, I trade SPY and SPY only. That's the only thing I trade. I just buy and sell calls and put option. I trade that because it has 3 different expiration dates, and so I tend to get a little more volatility out of those and a little better price action throughout the week. So I trade SPY, and that's why I started trade SPY, and then now I just trade it just because now it's my baby. Understand the patterns of SPY. So after watching these charts for a while, watching one specific stock for a while, you start to notice like patterns for that. It's kind of just like your kids. Like if you have kids or dogs or whatever, anything, animal, dog, certain tendencies. And so that's the idea with SPY. Watching one specific thing, you start to learn those tendencies. And really what I do, it's pretty simple. I don't do any news. I don't pay attention to any news or anything. I don't really care if the market's going up. I watch the charts. I watch the charts.
Yeah.
I wait for a specific pattern to show up in the charts. We have these couple key indicators. When they all read basically the same thing, I jump in the trade and jump in and out of the trade. That's pretty much it.
Well, and just to give you an example, when they're all 3 here, when Tony and Tim are here and Deshaun, like last Monday is historically just really a slow day. But last Monday, October 26th, we had 13 trades, 13, and made 22.3941% on Monday. Now, of those, Deshaun was doing SPY. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it was half of those trades were Deshaun's. And then we had the Qs, 1, 2 of the Qs, and the Microsofts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And about 13 trades. And that goes, that's more than a typical day. Usually that would occur on Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday or Friday. And we still have all those same trades. We had, 100 and something % return for last week. And certainly beats anything the market's doing. And the neat thing about the technique, you can take and just do put $2,000 into an account. I keep telling people this is great for you get a kid graduating high school and waiting to go to college, which is a waste of time. But put $2,000 into a trade account, E-Trade or any of them, and just let the kid do the virtual trading. The virtual trading, it's you're using like it's real trades. There's no difference what you think you're doing, and just use virtual trading. And if you make 6% per week, 6% per week. Now, Deshaun made over 7.5% just today, and a lot of times, what you see here, you make 22% a day. Just follow these guys, Tony and Deshaun and Michael, and just do, or Tim. I'm sorry, not Michael, but Tim.
You miss Micah, I get it.
Yeah, there you go. And if you just get 6% on $2,000 in essence play money, and you never put any, if it's real money, you still never put any money in there, additional money. You just keep compounding and trading the money as it grows. And in 2 years, 24 months, you're going to compound that money to over $800,000. Now, if you keep going, and this kid, just graduated high school, right? You keep going, and pretty soon you got over $800,000. Now, just go for 6% then, and that's $48,000 in just 1 week. You can live on that, and then let the other 3 weeks at $48,000 just accumulate, keep compounding. So simple, so risk-free, and you can do this with any kid you got that's getting ready to get out of high school. And we've had people, we've been doing this over 25 years, and we've had many kids less than high school age that are very successful doing this and are very successful today. And, good. We have Marion just ask a question. And Marion has been a client for a long time. It says, "Morning, gentlemen." Let me move my mouse here so I can move my thing out of the way so I can read the question. "Morning, gentlemen. I see we went with the trim Deshaun today."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Breaking. Yeah. And so that's right. He looks good, doesn't he, Marion? I never did like the beard. It had all those butterflies and stuff in it. So, but anyhow, what else? What do you got to say? You getting ready to say something, Sean?
No, it's actually the trim beard. Actually, my girlfriend has never seen me without a beard, so she was. I just like shaved it and walked up on her. She was like, "Ah!"
I know it scared her to death. I think it looks great. Yeah, I think it looks great. So let's have some questions here. We got time to answer some questions since we're not going to be doing the other aspect. But I didn't want to break our cycle because we really concentrated on in the Cal report. I talk about it in the editorial part, and then we're going to actually show that over here in these podcasts and talk about many other things too. Not just that particular technique, but I'll just delay that by 1 week. And here's a question from Pat. And Pat says, "Hi, Joe. I've been with CSC and MMT, that's micro moment trading, for years. Think I understand compounding, but don't know how much to reinvest each trade. Please show an example. 2,000 invest and make 10%. How much reinvest? Just reinvest the whole thing. In other words, you're not putting any new money in. And when I figure those compounded rates, I just assume, like I put into my little compound calculator here. In fact, let me pull it up. I put in, let me just come to the life now. I put in $2,000 and I put rate 6% periodic, which means 6% a month. And there's no deposits, no initial deposits. That's all zero. The duration's 102 weeks because that's how many trading weeks are in 2 years. Okay. And then I say compound weekly. And when I compound weekly, I hit the little weekly button. It comes up $762,479.64. Now, obviously, you start off with $2,000, and if you make 6% on $2,000, what's that? $120, something like that. Then now you've got $2,120 the next day when you trade, or the next week when you trade, or whatever. But you just have to make 6% per week. This is not every day. These guys are making, 19, 20% a day. And if you can just grasp what they're doing by letting them teach you what they're doing, looking at those charts, then you can do it too. Or your 18-year-old can do it. And that's a hell of a lot better than sending him off to some stupid school. Yeah, in 1 year, he could then go pay for any school that he wanted to go to. But he's got a way to make a living the rest of his life and doesn't have to worry about markets, down markets, or any of that, and only work maybe an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week. Would you agree with that, Deshaun?
Absolutely.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Yeah. Because Deshaun started off that way. We don't have anybody that was experts in doing this. In fact, most everybody that works with us and that do these make fantastic returns. When you attend these daily sessions on our market moment trading, people are reporting their earnings right then. They'll say, I just made 7 cents, which is a huge percent return because we're not buying the stock, we're buying the option. And maybe that option only was $1. With 7 cents on $1, 7%. And that's more than most mutual funds want to make that a year. And you when you attend these sessions, these people do report. They said, give their name. I just made 15 cents. I just made 25 cents. Today we had just people making money all over the place. Mm-hmm. And those sessions are free for 2 weeks. And then if by then you might be an expert, you may never have to come back to it again, or you want to come back because you want to participate, and we're always doing something with those sessions.
Yeah, because so the idea is you kind of join up. You learning the rules is. I honestly feel like it takes maybe a month to learn the rules. The hardest part, going back for me, the hardest part was just learning how to buy and sell. Learning the mechanics of whatever brokerage you use. Mm-hmm. That was the hard part. So learning the technique, because the edges is we got E1, E2, E3. We got the Bollinger Bands, a tick, E4. And that's pretty much it. So you got to learn about 7, 8 things and the pattern. So I mean, learning the technique is not very hard to learn it looking for. But then you learn it, and then you become kind of part of the community. So generally, people just hang around because you'll just start finding you can't talk to anyone else that you probably know about this kind of stuff because they just probably won't believe. So it's just you basically end up being part of the community anyway. So
yeah. And Suzanne says, do you need 2 monitors or 2 computers to do the micro moment trading? Absolutely not. A lot of people claim they have to have 2 or 3, because they like that great big huge something different on each screen. I use a MacBook, the smallest MacBook, and I've got the charts, I've got everything there, I've got the option chains you can trade on, and everybody else can too. Now, actually, Deshaun has mastered this on an iPhone, because on an iPhone,
no.
Yeah, you said you did in the past.
No,
you've done it
I
on your
made
iPhone.
one trade ever on a cell phone.
Okay. Well, it worked though, right?
Well, it was a successful trade, yeah.
But the charts look great on iPhone, and all the trading companies have iPhone screens and everything work on them. And sure you can, but no, you do not need a bunch of stuff. Now, like anything, like guys that buy cars and people that buy cars, do all kinds of stuff, things to pick them up, because I think that's cool. And a lot of people trading this, particularly, another virus, and they think that they have to have all kinds of stuff, and they don't. This is just a technique. It's just such a fantastic technique to do. You can do it on anything. And Pat says, if you reinvest full amount, if you reinvest the full amount, don't you eventually get more in the account than you want to invest at one time? Well, that's going to be up to you. Yeah, probably when you get up to $700,000-800,000 and you're making, $48,000 a week, you can cut back if you want to. I mean, how much money do you need, to live on there? But no, I'm saying if you take 2,000 and just let it stay in there just a year, let me tell you what it'd be, not nearly as much as 2 years, but let me just put in, instead of 102, what's half 102? 51, something like that, right?
102.
Let me put in 51 weeks. And now see, this is the power of compounding. That is only going to be the equivalent of $39,000 at the end of for half that time. So compounding is just huge. It just builds up, And now the other thing that's bothering a lot of investors, particularly we're finding this with the people that have the dividend stocks, and we were going to be discussing that this weekend. And because they get nervous because the return rates on the Fed and all these Treasury stuff are getting down less than 2%. And so people, the older people, they're trying to live off the substantial assets they've accumulated. It's hard to live off of 1% a year, 2% a year versus 7 or 8% a year. And so, they're getting nervous about that. But with these techniques that we have, it doesn't make a bit of difference, what that dividend is, because you're going to be getting, 6-7% a month. So, but no, you can just leave that $2,000 in there and let it accumulate it when you feel uncomfortable. You got so much money in there, just take it out, just keep trading the smaller amount. So, you can always add money to it, take it out or not trade it, but it's easier if you want to compound it quickly. $2,000 is not a lot of money to start off with, and 2 years, two years worth of weekly trades is not a lot of time. You can build it up so fast when you do that. And Marion says, I just use a PC laptop 13-inch and take it all over the place. There you go. And Marion's been doing this a long time. She's been doing this much longer than we've had this micro moment technique, because she's been with us much longer than 3.5 years. And we've been doing it for 3.5 years, but we've only been doing it as a subscription service the last 78 weeks. And that's at an average 92.8673% a week, a hell of a lot more than 6% a week, which is, I'm saying that's all you need, 6% a week to accumulate, So huge stuff. And Marion, I didn't mean to imply anything about your age or anything like that. That's you're the oldest client we have. But, yeah. Oh, Lordy. But Marion's sort of like a victim of habits. Like when we were doing these at City Place in Dallas a long time ago, when you could do these things with a big group of people, Marion would come virtually would have at least probably one a month on average. And she would always sit in the same seat. It was, they were graduated seats, and she would sit on the top row in the same cotton picking seat every time. And everybody knew her, and they'd look up there and wave to her because she was sitting in the same seat. So it's crazy. There's another question here. Michael Trading. Hey guys, hold on a second. Let me get it where I can read it. Hey guys, looking great, Deshaun.
Thank you. That's Micah, right? I think that's Micah.
Is that Micah? Okay.
It could be Micah.
I think he looks good. Mm-hmm. He kind of looks like some. Since this is Halloween, sort of like some Halloween movie star or something like that, but I can't think who it is. You really do look like some singer, Oh,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll sing to you later.
And I think you just referenced Mike, I think, didn't you? And,
I think that Micah's the one that was made that last comment.
Micah handles all our promotion. Everything was for CSE through the websites and social media and all of that. And Mike is also a singer. We discovered him at one of his singing deals on a cruise ship down in the Caribbean, and he showed up with his brother. I think he was 12 years old at the time, and he got second place in the what's that singing y'all do?
Karaoke.
He got second place in karaoke, and they went back to school, and he came with us not too long ago. Does a great job, but we don't let him sing. We don't let any of these guys sing.
We're working on it, though. We're gonna put together a concert. And Marion says that hat is awfully sharp too, Joseph. Yeah, his little Johnny Cash hat.
Yeah. Now that it got cold, I replaced my Islandy hats for my cowboy hats. So got another one down here. Oh, Micah says that he thinks he was maybe 17 on the cruise. So
but he looked 12 because he still looks 12.
Yeah, he still looks 12. He doesn't look very old at all. Okay, is anybody else on here? again, one more time, you can get those sessions for free, and there's just no reason you shouldn't do that. But you can only get them on our website, www.micromomenttrading.com. Also on that website, you can and you have these things free for 2 weeks, and then you can also sign up for our free Cal report, which has been published for over 20 years. You can get that from that site, and you also see all kinds of comments from all of our clients that write into us, email us. You see we publish all of those, and you can see what people are making and any problems they're having or any solutions to anything. It's just all kinds of stuff in that Cal report. It's really, really a great instrument to read once a week, and you get it free. It comes out every Friday afternoon. So anyhow, so Mike, what do you think of Deshaun's beard or lack of?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting because I had that beard for like 4 years, so I forget like most of the people that I'm around now have never seen me without a beard.
Yeah, they probably don't even speak to you.
Yeah, and they're like, "What the heck? You got a nice
Hey,
chin under there, man."
hey,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
Deshaun.
whatever.
Yeah, I'm Deshaun. People love Deshaun's comments and answers to questions when we do these live sessions and on here also. And we get a lot of requests all the time. Would he please explain this? Please explain that. And we just didn't have any preparation to do anything else other than what we're doing because we didn't find out that Hercules didn't, get those guys out of business until yesterday afternoon. So, and there's Eleanor. Eleanor, oh my goodness, she's been around longer than Marion. Eleanor is in Boston, and we used to do, so when you could do seminars, we used to do seminars up in Boston and Atlanta, LA, Dallas, Chicago, and always a bunch of people attending. And Eleanor was at the very first one we did in Boston, and she's been down here to several events we've had, big dinners we've had where we pick up the bills and everything. And she particularly likes the time in the bar. And, yeah, but Eleanor's a great friend and love her to death. Really do. Her husband's not so neat, but we really like her.
Dude, Eleanor's a nice name. You don't know many Eleanors now. Well, I don't think I've ever met an Eleanor.
No, but it's a neat name. And throw up Pat there. This latest one from Pat Marcus. So he is. And Pat says, "Okay, Joe, I won't keep on about this, but with your example in the Cal report, turning 2,000 to over 17 million in 3 years, I can't imagine how much the investment gets to in 1 or 2 years." Well, I can tell you, it's 2 years. It gets to that, 400, whatever it was, 700 and something $1,000.
Let me take a shot at this.
Okay.
So Pat, I think what the major concern you have is at what dollar amount is too much to be investing in this trading style, right? I believe that's what you're saying. And so yeah, in the example of taking 2,000 to what is it? What's the example? 24 months to 800,000.
Yeah. 2 years.
Okay. So check this out, Pat. So the idea is that's earning 6% a week. So say you have a 200 grand account. That's not saying
not 200, not 200 grand, $2,000.
Yeah, I'm saying like on the road. Say you got the account up to 200 grand. Now that's you don't have to trade the whole 200 grand of the account every day. You just need to make 6% of that 200 grand a week. So which 6% of 200 grand is what, about
120 bucks.
30 grand?
No, 6% of 2,000 when you start off. If you get 6%, you're going to collect 120 bucks. So then you've got 2,120 bucks for the next week's trade.
Okay, actually, so and when you grow that account to 200 grand, all you need to make for that week is about 12 grand. And so you just need to make 12 grand. So you don't necessarily invest the whole 200 grand every day. It's just over a course of a week. Is this kind of like answering like kind of your concern? I feel like you're just why, like say I had $1 million, would I put $1 million into one trade? No, that's not how. That will be kind of ridiculous unless you had like $1 billion. So is that kind of, does that make sense, Pat?
Let me show you over 3 years. What 3 years times 52 weeks, right? Okay, that's 156 weeks. So I'm going to put 156 weeks in the compound calculator. 156 weeks, still the same 6% a week, the same $2,000 original investment. Now, you're not going to believe this. On a weekly basis, it's going to grow to $17,731,479.61. And you say, that's a lot of money. I don't think it'll do that. Well, that's just what it does mathematically. That's how it's the power of compounding. That's why I'm saying if you just stick with it, you don't have to go to 17 million. You can go to the 700,000 in 24 months, and you only do one trade a week. But we're not just making those numbers up. That's what they actually compound to, and that's the power of compounding. And everything you always hear, and all the mutual funds and all these people say, "Oh, look, you come up with your money with us, and you're 35 or 40, and in 30 years you're going to want to retire. And look what happened. Look what compounding does. And you just have to put $300 or $400 a month in here for the next 30, 40 years." And we're going to deliver you 7% a year. Just 7% a year, and that's going to compound it to $1.5 million. How about that? After you spent 30 years plowing $300 or $400 a month in there, and you're not going to have in 30 years enough money to hardly buy lunch. Think about it. I mean, think about it. I mean, look what lunch you easily go out and spend $100 on lunch. And you think you got $1 million to start living on, and they're still trying to make you 7%, which they never do. And that even if they did, that'd be 70,000 a year, And but that's the kind of stuff they pull, and they always say, "Oh, 7%," but they never make 7%. The largest one out in the California CalPERS, they're lucky if they make 2%. A lot of times they lose money on a yearly basis, but they all say that. And then none of them can show you that rate. When you say, well, what have you made for the last 10 years? It was nowhere near that. So pretty crazy stuff.
Real nice move just opened up too on SPY. I missed it because I was doing the explanation. I had been waiting this whole time for it, but now I just got to go wait again. But I'm gonna take that next question. The rough few days for the market. Deshaun, how do you trade with the market but not end up chasing when the moves are this large? I mean, so the idea with that is, I was actually explaining it earlier today in the podcast. You had left already, Joe. But the thing is, we trade based on the charting system. So the charts tell us when to get in the trade and when to be out of the trade, and when to get in the trade and when not to get in the trade, rather. And so the charts doesn't say, it's not a specific thing that says get in, get out. It's just the patterns that are showed and reoccur. Now how to chase a trade. So say a big move happens, like the one I kind of just mentioned. The big move happens. How to not chase a trade? I'll try to enter that trade 2 times. If I like missed to not chase the trade, it's a personal thing. You have to take emotion out of it and say, hey, I missed that chance. And you just got to stop and not chase. That's probably, besides the mechanics of learning how to buy and sell, I think that would probably be the second thing, is how to cut the emotions off and stick strictly to the rules of hey, you missed 2 entries, you cannot try again, type thing. Of your personal. So,
in connection with that, why don't you address that blow up Carl's question, Marcus, please?
Okay, and then Carl says, I can paper trade and make great trades, but when I trade in my live account, it turns and goes against me. What am I doing wrong? Well, so Carl, it's probably kind of a combination of a few things, to be honest. Well, I'm not sure what system you're using. If you're using Thinkorswim, or if you're using Thinkorswim, the fills on paper are unrealistic. 100%. They fill you on the way in, feel you real low. On the way out, they feel you real high. So one of the things when you're trading on paper is always you wanna write down the bid and ask prices that you actually typed in, and that'll give you a better kind of idea of what kind of fields you would be looking at. So so that's probably one thing. The thing is the psyche of it, trading paper versus trading live account. So your issue is probably your decision making has become a little different when you go from paper and not having many emotions involved and you have no financial gain or risk in the trade. So now you go into live, now you do, and you're probably changing your decision making is probably not as sharp. You're delaying when you should pull the trigger, type thing like that. Those are probably the two main
Yeah,
things.
let me add to that, Carl. Uh, in the other techniques that we've been teaching for years and years and years, and that Randy teaches, there's all kinds of rules on how you buy stock and do this, do that when it goes up, when it goes down, all kinds of stuff. In this micro moment trading, there's only one rule. When you enter that position, you buy that call, you buy that leap, that option, and you sell that call. Now, there's a little light there on your trading screen. It's either green or red. If that sucker turns red, you get out of that immediately. It doesn't make any difference if it costs you 1 cent or 20 cents. You get out of that, because if you sit there and wait for it, because a lot of people, the natural tendency, they have the virus, day trading virus, and they're going to sit there and say, well, it's going to turn around. It's going to go up. It doesn't. It goes on down. Pretty soon you've lost 20 cents, 25 cents. You've lost a huge amount of money versus just getting out for a penny or 2 penny loss, turn around. A lot of times you're back in the same transaction again within seconds. But when you see that red light turn green, you get out. You just don't wait. And I know Deshaun's fallen victim to that. Sometimes he would wait, but that's the only rule there is. That is the only rule there is. And you're just not being attentive to it, and you're just hanging around too long because you don't want to lose a penny, And yeah.
And then normally from my studies, normally what it comes down to is normally most everyone's problem, their biggest I guess obstacle to overcome is entering trades better. That's normally it. The point in which you're entering trades needs to be a little more efficient and effective.
Yeah, but you got to get it hard. It's hard to do, because everybody thinks, oh, well, it's just down there. It's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. But then all of a sudden, and then sometimes you get to the trade and you're in it, and all of a sudden, damn thing goes up 30 cents, and you got a fortune, and of course you get out. So it can go both ways. But you're never going to lose hardly anything if you go ahead and when that thing turns red, get out. Just get out. And that's what you have to do. And that's what a lot of people don't. They're not successful with the technique. Don't do. So, and it says, what does it say down at the bottom? Carl, it says, Joe, are you talking about E4? Am I talking about E4? Am I talking which line? Because you got those up there in front of you. I don't have them in front of me.
He's talking about when you're referring to when it turns red. Is like what is when what turns red?
Oh, okay.
That's what he's asking.
Yeah, on your I guess you can balance whatever it is. If the stocks, if you got a positive balance, it's going to be green, and if the things have changed and it's red, you get out when it turns red. It's going to be, you can just look there and see on your screen.
Oh, you're talking about like your profit loss.
Exactly.
Right? Profit loss, if it turns red.
When the profit loss turn red, you just get out immediately. Just get out. And don't hang around. Would you agree with that, Deshaun?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that'll save you a couple $1,000 for sure. Learn from experience. Definitely hard to do though. Definitely, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect and get out every time that I'm supposed to, because it's a thing. It's like a mental thing that happens. It's like you can't. You come across a time where you can't admit that maybe you were. So
Well, go back to his first question. It says, I can paper trade and make great trades, but when I trade in my live account, it turns against me. Okay, right there, the red light just came on. It's turned against you. Okay, and it says, what am I doing wrong? You're not getting out. That's what you're doing wrong. You're staying in there until something worse happens. Just get out. That's what's doing wrong. You're waiting. Yeah. So. And that's why, the CBOE out of Chicago says 85% of day traders lose their money. And how could that be? And when you look at a trading screen, like when it's down 1,000 points or it's down, I don't know if it's not down right now, but yesterday it was down at 1 point, 600 points or something like that. Those are real losses. Those are people that are sitting there taking those. Those just are not TV time. Those are real losses. So. Anybody? We only got a couple of minutes left here. If anybody wants to ask some more questions, I'm sorry we didn't get to our regular schedule, but we will. I just didn't want to get them all off because these guys prepare for those, and they spend a lot of time getting that stuff ready to go. So, okay, I'll say one more time. Go to www.micromomenttrading.com, and that's our website. And you can only get this special on our website. Sign up, get a couple of weeks free. You can attend those sessions just like everybody else. You're not restricted. You can talk to us Fridays. We have Happy Phone Friday. We can unlock your phone. You can talk to us or anybody else you want to. And they're really, really good sessions. And you want to get to blow up that Carl, that new Carl.
He says, I'm on TOS, and by the time I hear the bell on entry, it is below my entry point. Oh, okay. So you're saying, you're saying as soon as you get in the trade, you're already red. And by the bell, you mean like the little tick that says you got filled. Okay, so I'm on TOS, and by the time I hear the bell on entry, it's below my entry point. Okay, so so that goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier. Like normally, like probably 95% of the issue that people go through is that their entry points are not the correct entry points. So if you're entering trades correctly with this technique, you should be up like 2 to 3 cents instantly in the trade. You should have already overcome the spread between the bid and ask and already either be even or up 1 to 3 cents. So that tells me you need to go back and look at your entry points. Kind of you have your own charting system, so go back and review your entry points, and then maybe turn the charts to a candlestick, and you can see it shows better the entire minute in which you entered the price going up and down. So you need to kind of go back to the basics. Where I entered and where should I have entered, rather, and that should be that should kind of start excelling you to the next level, Carl. I hope that helps answer your question.
And Sean, if you could get George there. Because we discussed this yesterday when we had a slow chart for the moment. And I think that's the red or green he's talking about there.
Yeah, it says, George says, what's the difference between the red and green above and below the line of E4? It's the difference above and below the line. Okay, so I think the specific question is what is being above the zero line or below the zero line. They're showing the pressures towards the bottom side or the pressures towards the top side. That's a simple answer. The pressures towards the sellers or the pressures towards the buyers. So red is obviously down. So red is towards the downside or the sellers. Green is towards the upside.
This red or green you're supposed to be looking at and make this decision to get in and out is that one up there where it shows the value of your trade and how much money you got in it. It's going to be red or green. You're going to have a loss and or profit in it. And when you turn red, you get out of it. So.
Yeah, and Carl, what you could do is we could help you on your entries too. If you email us or whatever, you have to kind of take screenshots of your entry points, and we could like help go over and review that for you. Definitely don't mind doing that.
Okay, well, we're out of our time. We're 44 minutes in. Usually our limit's about 45 minutes. Deshaun, I really appreciate you coming over here, even though you don't have your beard anymore, and I will not be able to recognize you on the street. I know it's you because you're on this, and you're the only person on this, but otherwise I wouldn't recognize you on the street. But thanks everybody for being here. We'll be back to our regular podcast. One more time, go to www.micromomenttrading.com. Sign up for that free 2 weeks of what we've been talking about here. And you'll be amazed how pretty soon you get this down because you're just looking at that chart, and that chart's telling you what to do. There's not a lot of rules or anything. And you get started with virtual money or with just a few bucks of real money, it doesn't make any difference. Thanks, everybody. And good deal, Carl. And thanks everybody for being here. And Mark's going to play a little thing here that he plays at the end